Greetings and salutations. Ben here, Trev there, Randy right there. We're at Sunday Night Hangover. Oh yeah, and Ken. I forgot. Ken invaded.
Don't forget Ken.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Welcome one, welcome all. If you're new, please subscribe. If you're returning, welcome back. Hit the like. Hype! If you're on a mobile app. I don't know what it does, but I just like saying it. Hype! Don't believe the hype. Ooh, yeah. Anywho's in houses. We got 20 people already in here. That's crazy. More people coming in. Nice. We got Billy Baloney. Nice. We got Earl. Michael Krause is held up in a hotel. Well, he was at least a couple hours ago. There's Jim. Matt McCullum. Doc Kramer. Terry's 3Gs. Papa Blue. Blue Mox.
Blue.
Brother Chris, he was out disc golfing today, which tells you he's not in one of the 36 states getting pounded with snow. And 2 provinces. Why don't you throw them in? Who else we got here? There's Brother Trev in the chat. And on the screen, we got Dennis Ellis. Good to see you. Holy crap. Pops is here. Quentin fucking James himself.
How was your sandwich? The mighty cute.
Jason's Guitar Shed. Good to see you. And John Landino thus far. With, I'm sure, more. They're just trying to get in through security, you know. I don't know what's going on there.
Get your ID card.
Yeah. They'll patting people down, make sure they have illegal stuff on them. Hey, you don't have enough illegal stuff. Here, put this in your pocket. Come on in. Time Surfing Alien. Good to see you. Jeff K. Good to see you. So, yes, by popular demand, we had multiple people. Plus, I've literally been meaning to have Randy on for years, but due to lifestyle choices, always forget.
Well, there was that one time where John DeShane was going to be on, but then his internet pooped the bed and the rest of the OU crew showed up in his place.
Where is that?
That was fun.
Of course, I don't remember most shows that I do anyway. So again, lifestyle choices. But I do kind of remember that. Greasy Monkey Guitars. Is that you, Steve? Steve's here.
You can tell by the way he types.
Yeah, and he's not Martian nor Murray, but he's here anyways. What's up, Chris? So, yes. And also, just a little house cleaning. Next week, we're going to have Blue Mox joining us. That's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, if you have any questions for any of us, you know, you can put some question marks out front of your comment. Tag us. If you're a member, use the member milestone to stand out. You can stand out with a super chat as well. Standing out. Kind of what most of us did through high school. Stood out. What's up, Bo? He was celebrating his kid's birthday. His son was not impressed because he didn't get an ice cream cake for his birthday. I'm like, dude, you're an adult and in the Army.
And it's January.
Mostly because it's January. Jimmy John's Club on Wheat was yummy.
Yeah, get the bootlegger, bro. Number 14.
There we go. Doc Kramer saying, hey, nice. Nice.
I don't have to play your shit on this channel.
Yeah.
Nope. No riff yet.
Hope you enjoyed your Wicked Sensation riff last night.
There's Charles Green. You can tell by
Chuck?
the name that's not saying Charles Green. I can tell by the photo.
Right.
And Paul McNary.
Super Chef.
I think Paul got into my stash. I may or may not be here. I have lost 2 with reality. All right.
Stay grounded, man. I'm not missing much.
Yeah. And Michael Cross chimes in. New England are here. Ice cream is a year-round thing like iced coffee. And Bonkers is here.
You were correct, Matt. Ice cream cake is... But ice cream cake is an ice cream cake? Ice cream cake's not cake.
No. Unless it has actual both, which rarely.
Like my chocolate brownie parfaits you can get at the Dairy Queen.
That's all that shit I can't eat anymore.
No, man. Looks good on you, though, man.
Damn diabetes.
Just have a steak instead.
There's Brother Ed.
One earlier.
Hey, Ed.
There's Eddie Van Haskell. See, all rolling in. Damn security. Crazy.
Pushing 38.
Speaking of security, if you're ever bringing a guitar into a venue to get signed by the artist that's performing, and the security at the door ask you what's in the case, do not tell them 2 AR-15s and a 12 gauge.
No.
They will pull you to the side, pat you down, and inspect what's actually in the case.
Mm-hmm. Makes
Point
sense.
taken.
There you go.
Yeah.
William McConnell, he's here.
BC brother.
Good to see you. Yeah. Yes. I was gonna say, in my familiarity with your playing, Randy, you seem to like guitars that go fast, play fast, got wiggle sticks, high performance automobiles of guitar machinery is what I'm saying.
And that's only like half of them, and they're all fucking super strats.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I've noticed a bit of a
There's
trend.
a pattern, yeah.
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 Not that there's anything wrong with that. The man likes a performance vehicle. That's what he's saying.
Low to the ground and fast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have a specific idea when looking for a super strat? It has to meet a certain criteria, as it's work.
Charvel.
Charvel-esque. I don't like narrow necks. I like wide necks. Which is like why I don't own Music Mans anymore.
Sure.
Or
You're super tiny.
Wolfgangs or anything like that. They're too narrow. I pull the high E off the neck or push the low E off.
Well, because you're adult size, And that's not a derogatory thing. It's just our good friend EVH was not quite adult size. He was 9/10 scale.
Right. And I'm 6'2", so
yeah.
Those things, I mean, I've owned them and they're great guitars. I bought a EVH Music Man, I don't know, during the COVID guitar hunt.
Right.
And just to finally own one and got it. And I was like, this thing's like playing a ukulele. So I sold it. And then everyone calls me an idiot for selling it. But it's like, the neck feels like a broom handle to me.
Well, yeah. And unless you just want to have it like sitting in a case, a display case, or in its case as just a investment.
Right. Yeah. I kind of get that where if I buy a guitar and it starts spending more time in the case than being played, it's just going to get sold.
Yeah. Yeah. It's either got to be, for me, it's got to be like a sentimental value. Okay. Like my old J. Tercer Les Paul, for instance, it was a $200 guitar, brand new, but I put a shit ton of miles on it. Now, am I going to spend the money to get it refretted? No. I'm not even going to spend the money to get a new nut put on, because the cheap plastic nut, Randy, is so worn out. The first fret is now acting like a 0 fret, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. But I was like, I got my mileage out of it, and now it sits in a case. Will I get rid of it? No, because it's only worth $100. But
Yeah,
right.
More sentimental value than anything, right?
Exactly.
I've got a couple that are sentimental value. I mean, I still own the very first Stratocaster I ever got.
Wow. Cool.
And I never play it, but I won't get rid of it because it was, to me, that's a reminder of my mother because she picked the color. Mm-hmm. It's that back when Fender did that metallic midnight blue that's almost purple.
Oh, yeah.
Purple in certain lights. Because I want a white one because I have a thing for white guitars.
I again, yeah, notice. Awesome.
And black guitars. But I want a white one, but they could, when we went to, I don't know if you guys remember old Mars Music back in the day or if y'all had that in Canada.
We did not.
It was Guitar Center's like biggest competitor.
Okay.
I've heard the name before.
Probably in the late.
What's up, Brian?
Probably in like the late 90s. And my mom let me skip school one day and took me up to Mars to find the Strat, and I want a white with a maple board, and they did not have a white with a maple board, so she picked out that midnight blue. And that was like 98, 97, somewhere in there, and I still got it, and it's not going anywhere. So I changed the pickups in it years ago. I put one of those Fender hot noiseless pre-wired guards on it, and believe it or not, the shitty Mexican ceramic pickups that were in it sound better than those.
I can see that because they sometimes, if they do it right with the ceramics, they can sound quite glassy and that classic Strat sound,
right?
Which is just by being lazy and underwinding them.
Yeah,
Great.
But I ended up putting,
it's like the opposite of what I want in a humbucker. Like a humbucker, I want a nice hot humbucker. But with single coils, like the least amount of whines you can get around that pickup, because it'll just be just a weak, anemic, in a good way, is for a Strat for me. So it's like quacky, plucky.
I put that pre-wired hot noiseless pick guard on it, and dude, they're like ear piercingly. They're horribly ear piercing, when you're playing leads on them and stuff. And the ceramic ones that came in it, the El Cheapo ones weren't. So I put the stock pickups back in it. But I probably haven't played that guitar in like 5 or 6 years. And even when I play it, it just gets played for a minute and put back in the case.
Yep, I get it.
But yeah, dude, I've got 14 guitars that aren't even in this house. So.
I used to be that way.
Some of those are not Strat-shaped objects. Some of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple other ESP LTDs, and I've got my old workhorse Schecter C1 Blackjack before they went stupid with it and started putting the deck of cards on the 12th fret. It's just all black with the cream binding. That was my when I was in the band 11 Standing Still for like 3 years. That was my main guitar. That guitar's played a crap load of shows, and it's a tune-o-matic string through body, tuned to drop B, still tuned to drop B. That was our main tuning.
Yeah,
and I actually need to go get that one out of storage and do some B stuff on the show, some low tune stuff.
Similar background there, Trey. Tune-o-matic, Les Paul style guitars playing in drop C for about 3 years, and. So I get it. What's up, Arf? You see Glenn Michael Thompson's here as well.
Right on.
Wow. Now, question for you. Do you have any acoustics?
I do. I've got 3. Yeah. Nice. I've got an El Cheapo Alvarez. It's one of the $250 non-acoustic electric ones.
Sure.
I've got a mid-price point Takamine and a mid-price point Alvarez. I like the Alvarez stuff. They've got thin necks.
They do. I've always thought they've been in the same family as like a Takamine for the most part. And like as well as like $1,000 is $1,000 guitar is $1,000 guitar almost regardless of logo on the head, on headstock, is they're built to a certain price point, and they are similar in that way. They put a decent electrical system in them. They play decent. Like a Yamaha, for instance. Yep. Same idea.
I had a CPX 900. I think it was a CPX. I can't remember if it was a CPX or what was the CPY or the APX. I don't know. I think it was a CPX 900. I had one of those years ago. Used to play a lot of acoustic shows at the Mexican restaurants and the bars and stuff during the week. Mm-hmm. So my black Alvarez, which is like my $1,000, $1,200 Alvarez, is black with white binding. Came with I think it's got Fishman set up in it.
Nice.
And that one and the Yamaha was my main deal, and I like the Alvarez better, so I sold the Yamaha.
What's up, Aston Ray? Good to see you. Michael Crest tried an Alvarez baritone. He says it was very nice. That's cool. Bo says I might get an Alvarez. Looking for a beater acoustic. Actually, a couple of them. I mean, I have an Alvarez next to his bed.
I can't say enough good things about the cheaper Alvarez acoustics. They sound good. They sound good plugged in. I mean, I beat the shit out of the ones I have. Especially the black one. When Jeff Hanneman died, I had a Hanneman Heineken logo sticker made. It's got a big Hanneman Heineken logo sticker across the body with his, born on and death date on it. Because I was super into Slayer back then.
Mm-hmm. Like Trev. Not like me. Apparently I own a Slayer album, though. Who knew? I didn't.
Which one?
Christ Delusion, I think it was. Wasn't it?
Divine Intervention.
Oh, yes.
That album gets shit on a lot. That's when they
Stop
started
talking
tuning
people.
down. Well, lower than E flat anyway.
Only 11 inches of snow so far for him. Nice. And an inch of ice on top of that. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
Earl's back.
You get near that melty, freezy zone. Hate that.
This chat needs the magnifying glass on it, like the EV Bucks one does.
What I've done is I've popped out the chat, and then I went Control plus with the zooms up to like 175, I think. So it's on its own screen up there, so Ken can read it and I can read it. And it's all big. I don't have to wear my glasses.
Well, everybody makes fun of me for squinting, but I've got a light here and a light right here on the desk. I mean, you can see my hand block it, so it's just direct in my face, and I'm like, oh, I can't see.
Exactly. What's up, Richard? Good to see you. Apparently, I left my phone upstairs, so I'm going to go and grab it real quick in case we get a tip.
Yep.
Don't want to miss out on that.
So we know it's Charvels, of course, and then you've mentioned the ESPs, LTDs. No love for the Ibanez's?
Nope. I've never been a big Ibanez guy.
Right. Seems to check a few boxes, but just doesn't gel.
Yeah, that's the necks. They're either I like thin, but not that thin.
Yeah. What about the Satch versions? Or the S? No? Meh. I get it.
There's something to that, that old school San Dimas neck shape,
right?
That wide C, and it just with my hand is perfect. So, but I mean, like ESP and Charvel. But the thing is most of the newer Charvel stuff I don't really care for.
Same here. I was going to ask you about that. Do you have a vintage Charvel by any chance?
The oldest one I have is 2009 or 10. Okay.
I asked because having played a vintage one, I found the necks on the old ones were much bigger.
Yeah.
Just everything. Like you can't say wider shoulder thing. It was just bigger. It was everything.
Yep.
That's one of the things I've noticed on. Not that the new ones are particularly small. It's just the new ones kind of feel like a Strat neck. Just with a flatter radius.
They do. They don't. The Fender Modern, the Fender Modern C and the Modern D, they're close. They're not quite as wide. And they're not quite as thin.
What's up, Kush?
They're getting there. But
Wait.
I like all my main stuff is either like the 08 to 2010 USA production run stuff or the 2011, 2010 Japanese made Charvels, which is pretty much leftover USA production run parts.
Right.
So, and those necks, I'm the nerd, so I take the micrometer to all of them and measure them just to see how consistent the thickness and stuff is. And every one of them is dead on 0.790 at the first fret and 0.850 on the 12th. And that's just kind of where I live neck shape or neck thickness wise. Now, that Pro Origins Jackson I just bought, it's thinner. I think it's 750 at the first and 810 at the 12th. So you're getting in that Ibanez thin territory.
Right.
And I have toyed with the idea of putting, because I have an extra Japanese Charvel neck, I've toyed with the idea of swapping that out. But everyone's like, you can't put a Strat head on that.
Sure you can.
Pointing. I'm like, it's my guitar. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do with
Bill
it.
Cullen has had Strat-shaped Jackson headstocks for years.
Yeah.
So, just saying, folks.
Right.
So, not to mention, always been the same company. So, if anything, you could, interchange. If there's ever going to be two different brands that you can interchange, it'll be that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll bolt right in. What's up, Dwight Bailey? Hitman.
Hitman.
Yeah, ESP was probably my first love of brand loyalty guitars. I still love ESPs, and I've gotten back in on the buying ESP stuff. And
I have one. My Kramer was built at the ESP factory. So,
well, there you go.
Right.
But I
small
had
neck, very small neck.
I had a I can't remember if it was a 2006 or a 2005. It was an M2 custom it was black with a maple board
Okay.
and EMG. I think it had 81s in it, or 81 and 85. And I sold that guitar probably around 2010 or 2011 like a dumbass, because now I want it back, and to find one that's that specific model, when they pop up, they're like triple what I sold it for.
Mm.
So yeah, that was a bad move.
Did you? I don't know if you saw this when I was away, Trev. Any thoughts on the Duncan 50th anniversary Jazz JB set?
I saw that. I've got my Schecter's got a Jazz in the neck. That's the set that's in it, JB Jazz. Supposedly they're wound to the original vintage spec and all that stuff, which back when Seymour started winding JBs in the 70s, they weren't as hot as they later turned into be. I think they were around.
I was wondering about that, because not being I haven't really deep dived pickups to the point where, like, have they changed over there? It's like, shouldn't it be the same always? But
you would think, and Seymour Duncan, the company, will tell you that the JBs never changed, and that's 100% bullshit.
Sure.
But back in the 70s, they were wound. They were like 15.5K, and they used rough cast short A5 magnets and all that stuff. And then the JBJ era, MJ was winding the coils symmetrically. So each coil was like, I think each coil was 8.2K. So if they're like, every one of them was 16.4.
Right.
Dead nuts. The biggest change in the JB was in the 90s when they started CNC winding them. And they started using polished A5 magnets from the rough cast. And the polished A5 is what gives that high-end spike.
Okay.
That super honky upper mid high end spike is the polished magnet. So if you buy a brand new JB and a $5 magnet and swap it, it'll give you close enough to that classic JB sound.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, they're not, I don't
Randy
know how
dropped
much
some serious knowledge here, Trev.
what I'm a nerd.
I love it.
I'm a nerd. I mean, it's just like you can go down the list of Duncan pickups, and there's like, I don't know, 10 of them that are actually just the JB wind. The Invaders, the JB wind. The Duncan Distortion is a JB, but with a double thick ceramic magnet instead of the A5. The Full Shred's based off the JB. I mean, the Perpetual Burn, all that stuff. They've kind of recycled that 500 times for different models. So
I have no idea the age of the JB on my Kramer. It was in it when I got it, so
probably 80s, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The earlier the better, in my opinion.
I did order a custom shop Seymour Duncan pickup the other day. Figured I've never ordered a custom shop Duncan before, so I had an idea. And I impulsively acted upon it.
I like it. Sounds like something Matt would do. What?
So I ordered a JB,
Mm-hmm.
but with an Alnico 8 magnet in it, because I'm kind of on this Alnico 8 thing.
Okay.
So your Alnico 8, it kind of has the cut of a ceramic magnet with the smooth top end of an Alnico 2.
Ooh.
The base of an Alnico 5, and it shifts the mid-range from that high-mid spike to where it just kind of like centers your mid-push. So they're real thumpy. They've just got a ton of punch. They're not screechy.
Right.
They're not flubby, but they've still got a big bassy bottom end. And I've kind of went down that because I've got the Arcane Mr. Scary pickup in my Burnt Tiger Lynch guitar. And it's an Alnico 8. And that
I don't know
thing
if I've
just
ever heard of
sounds...
Alnico 8 until now. That's just...
Things like 13.5K, and it's loud as shit. So, but it's really articulate. You can hear all the note separation. The harmonics are great with it, but it's still got a lot of low end, and it's real punchy. So I ordered a JB with an Alnico 8, and then to throw another wrench in it, I said, make it look like a Screaming Demon. So you've got the chrome, flathead screws on the bottom coil, and the top coil is the black hex bolts. So it's kind of like a mix of a Alnico. It's an Alnico 8 JB with the visual of a Screaming Demon. What's up? My knees hurt.
If I didn't know better, I think somebody got into my stash ordering that kind of a pickup, Randy. I'm quite impressed.
Well, it's kind of dumb.
ETA on that? 6 weeks? Couple weeks?
I think it's
3. You're gonna build it, right?
I think they're showing 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, because it'd been quicker if it had been a shop floor custom where they just modify a shop floor pickup. But I guess since I spec'd that I wanted the Screaming Demon aesthetic, then it's just a complete custom build. So the thing about this is, if I like the way it sounds, I'll just get Willie to clone it.
Right.
Since
you could have your own.
He owns a pickup company and all
that. I got a Randy Price. Screaming Demon, kick your ass in.
I forget. They ask you if you want to name the pickup, and I think I named it the J8 Demon or something like that. So just
there we go.
Come up with something stupid. J8 Demon, the J8 Demon.
I did a knockoff of basically a DiMarzio Super Distortion a few years ago. I just called it the Canuckbucker.
Huh. There you go.
Yeah. And then if you wanted overwound, then it was just the Motherbucker at that point.
Yeah.
Badass Motherbucker.
I saw
Randy Crook's in the house.
Yeah, what's up, Randy? One Randy to another Randy.
Knees is here as well. Good to see you. Okay, good crowd here.
Okay,
Ferd. Missed you at the Water Buffalo meeting, Ferd. Just saying.
Speaking of Super Distortions, our friends at Pariah Pickups, he makes the Destruction 70, which is a Super Distortion clone.
Right.
Now he's making I think he's calling it the Destruction 80, and it's a Super Distortion with an A5 magnet swap.
Ooh.
Or an A2, one of the two. And it's based on that whole Edward Van Halen thing, that the Super Distortion that was originally in the Bumblebee, he swapped the magnet in it and to an A5 or an A2 or something, and then supposedly Seymour Duncan ended up rewinding that pickup too, and all the tinkerings of the Van Halen mythology. So now he's doing so that piqued my interest, and I'm like, well, I've got a Super Distortion sitting in a box back here. I just swap the magnet on it, see what happens.
We got the Trenton Brigade here. They could have actually carpooled Zach Thong and Mark Taft. I'm just saying, it's not often, but we literally have. I know they're at the opposite ends of the same town, but
they're on the same bus.
Yep.
Zach doing some good playing last night.
He says, "Sorry, I'm late. I put my gear away." Oh, no worries, bud. Take your time, put it away. All the shit's nice. I'm just saying.
Got some licks in today on the Guitar Talk Universe show. Managed to catch some of that. He had a pretty good panel today. Ryan there, and John was there. Gene Spliced, and D-Side. Pretty good panel. And, of course, Blue Box coming next Sunday.
Yep. That's going to be fun. Steve's asking, Randy, what decade guitar do you prefer, modern or vintage? Apparently, there's only 2 decades, according to Steve. You like the modern decade or the vintage decade?
How do you answer that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I buy more used stuff than I do new stuff anymore. I think it comes down to the thing of like my preference of what I like in a guitar. The companies that are producing them, their modern stuff, their QC shit.
Right. Well, that and like we're saying, like the necks vary over the years to a certain extent. So you find like, what's up, Jimmy?
What's up, Jimmy?
It might be that. Like I know guys that are like, first, like, I like 2011 Les Pauls because 2011 they were doing a thing or something. Just as a example, I get it. What's up, Mitch Heyman? Good to see you as well.
Yo, Mitch.
Like I said, yeah, and the nice thing about buying used too is like unless you're getting completely ripped up, you can always like if you don't agree with it, you can get your money out of it.
Right.
You know, it's a lateral move.
Mhm.
Essentially.
That and you can always trade.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trades are fun.
I just kind of like, I can spend $1,000 or $1,200 or whatever the new one is, and in a month I'm going to have the frets leveled and crowned and this, that, and the other, and the electronics are shit. Or I can buy an older version that I want that's played in.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say settled in. Like chances are, like I find older guitars, the necks don't move as much.
Right.
Like I'll still have to make truss rod adjustments, but say when I first got the guitar, being the extreme conditions here, let's say it's a third of a turn on the neck, between the peak winter, peak summer. Well, then after a few years, now it's only a quarter turn. And then it turns to be, then eventually it's just slight tweaks.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the way guitars are, I find, over time.
Yeah, and those however many it is, 4 or 5 of those, my preferred era of Charvels, I don't think I've ever adjusted the truss rods on those. Maybe once when I first got it.
I'd say you'd have a little less extremes, like weather-wise. Not much, but a little less. But still also, yeah, once they settle in, and that's the thing, like I find, if the guitar's only movement to the point where you would have only made like an eighth of a turn, you're not going to be bothered to do it.
No.
It's just that ever slow slight. It's just, I'll come in all of a sudden one day, I'm like, why are my strings laying on the fretboard? Oh, right, because we shifted from the 30% humidity to 80% humidity. And
yeah, that's the big thing down here it's humid 7-8 months of the year. And then come mid-October, the humidity just randomly disappears. And you can pretty much count on anything that I have that's new within 2 weeks of that happening.
Yep.
Frets are going to start popping, sprouting, and then I'm going to have way too much relief or not enough relief in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's another reason I tend to go for used stuff is because, like you just said, they necks tend to not move once they're 20, 30 years old.
My vintage stuff, I don't do a neck adjustment. Well, part of it is also you got to take the neck off to adjust them.
That's how all my Charvels are. You got to take the damn neck off.
Yeah.
But
which is another big fact you learn to play with a little bit different.
Right. But I bought that a month or so ago, right before Christmas. I bought that 94 or 95 LTD M2, and I've said it a million times, those first year or so of the LTDs were made in Japan, not Korea. So that's a Japanese made one, and when you play the thing, you're like, this feels like a Japanese built guitar. It doesn't feel like a Korean. Now I'm not knocking Korean LTDs because I think they're great.
Right. But there is a difference.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say build quality. It's more just finish, like
Finish.
attention to detail, which is build quality, but not necessarily because they could be using the same woods and hardware. It's just the German precision, Japanese precision, same deal.
When I got it, John asked me, he goes, so you ready for the frets to pop on that thing or the neck to move? I'm like, dude, this thing's 30 years old. I don't think it's going to do anything.
No, unless you go like to extreme, like you take it out to like Arizona or something like that, where but then it's only going to do it once because it's going to be that climate change where it's going to shrink down, and then if it shrunk, you attend it, and then it's done.
It's like I generally don't fix fret sprout because by April it's not going to exist anymore.
Yeah, like my Wolfgang gets bad fret sprout, and they're stainless frets, so they're a hassle to deal with. So guess what? I just don't play that guitar in the winter.
Yeah, that's not a winter guitar. That's a summer guitar.
Yeah, that's like certain cars. It's a summer car.
Right. Got to play your guitar with the snow tires on it.
Exactly. I have plenty of other guitars to play. I'm okay with that.
Right. It's like when I drop a guitar. Like this week, I'm going to drop. I think most people saw it last night, but I'm going to drop this Tiger off with Willie this week. It needs a fret level, and they're sprouted, so he'll just take care of it while he's in there. But
that is the nice thing about this time of year is this is the best time of year to have your guitars worked on because they are at their smallest, shrinkiest, driest. So,
yep. Yeah, I'm going to drop this off this week.
I don't care.
Willie is always like, man, I'll get it done and done it. I'm like, dude, just take your time. I've got plenty of other shit to play.
Right.
You know, I don't care if you have it a month or whatever.
Yeah, I'd rather have it done right than in a rush.
Yeah, and I know he's busy. The dude, he's actually got a pretty big deal going on right now. For those that don't know, my tech Willie Houston worked at Charvel from 83 to 89.
Okay.
89 or 90. And he's still really in tight with Mike Eldred and Grover and Dan Lawrence and, name drop. But
sure.
I keep trying to get him to come on the show on a guitar stool because the shit he can talk about.
Right.
So Rob Blackmore, by the way. So Rob slide in on here.
He owns
I feel like he should be saying Devil Horns, Alien, Rob Black.
Well, unless he updates his handle again, I don't have to do that anymore.
It wasn't our choice. YouTube made us do this nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a. I don't know if you've seen Mike Eldred started his own guitar line called El Cabron Guitars.
Nice.
And they're plays on Tellys and Esquires, and he's got a. What's the small like Jazz Master body?
Jaguar.
No.
That's Master. Smaller. Surfcaster.
No.
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's, fuck, they come out in like the 60s or the 70s. They're smaller. Something like that. He's doing those now, but I guess they just announced on his, Eldred put it up on his, Willie's been making all the pickups for those things. And I guess they announced that Grover and Mike Eldred have come together on this new pickup, this El Cabron pickup, and Willie's got like an order of like 200 and something of them he has to do. And I guess originally they weren't going to announce that Willie was the one making them, and when they finally announced it the other day, they're like, yeah, all these are wound by Willie Houston's Rocket Pickups, former Charvel alumni, blah, 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 blah. So he's got that going on too.
Wow.
Plus repairs for the shop that he works with and
Sure.
all that kind of stuff. So he's always, anytime I'm doing something, he's like, man, I'll try to get it done in like within a week. I'm like, just do what you got to do, bro.
Right.
I don't mind being. It's the things about Willie, all right? He's good at what he does. He's a pro.
Mm-hmm.
It may take him a little while, but his prices are still like it's 1992.
Right.
I mean, I don't see anybody else around here doing fret levels for $60 and refrets for 200 and yeah.
No, usually a fret level is 200 now.
Right. So he, my buddy Anthony's got one of the Eric Johnson Strats, the ones with the rosewood board and the binding.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought it used and it's never played good. He's like, man, this thing needs a refret. He's like, the frets are all fucking short and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, take it over to Willie. And he'd never dealt with Willie before. So Willie, I text Willie and say, how much would you do this for? And he's like, $180 for a full refret. And then he gets the guitar and he had it like a month because, he's got other stuff going on. And I was talking to him on the phone one day. I'm like, so how's Anthony's guitar coming? He's like, dude, the neck on this thing is fucked up. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's got a hump in the neck from frets 1 through 6. He's like, I've never seen a quarter sawn maple neck hump like this. He goes, so I'm having to like be really careful of how I plane this fretboard and not fuck the binding up because I don't want to redo the binding and all this other shit. So he had the guitar like a month. Yeah, that's it. Music Master. Who said that?
Music Master. Okay.
Off the beat bass here. There you go. Music Master. Music Master bodies. But
wild card.
He gets done with this thing and we go to pick it up and Anthony's just like, oh my God, this thing's never played this good. He's like, well, I know he had to fix the hump in the neck and all this other stuff, so I figure it's going to be extra. And he's like, no, $180.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
So yes, I will wait for Willie as long as it takes him to do whatever, because like I said, he's still priced like it's 1992.
See, I'm not jealous of the guitar collection, Trev.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of the access to that because like I can do quite a bit of work on my own guitars, but I've realized more and more I don't want to.
Right.
I'm back to where I'd rather have somebody else do it. And do it well and do it competently.
Like a $6 breakfast, for fuck's sakes. Where are you going to even wash dishes for $6?
I'm just kind of like, I can do most of it. I don't do fret work. I don't have the tools to do the fret work stuff. But, setting one up, changing pickups, pots, whatever, I'll just do that shit myself.
Sitting there with your guitar
Unless I want to be lazy. If I'm lazy, I'm like, hey, Willie, fix this. I don't feel like dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, Willie's in Georgia. I don't know. I'm sure he would refret a 36 fret guitar.
$10 a fret.
Yeah, $10 a fret. The only thing he asked, he goes, is it a maple board or a rosewood board? And he's like, if it's maple, does it have a ass load of lacquer on it?
Right, you gotta cut them all out.
I think he charges more for that because then he's got to re-lacquer it and all that shit. And I always tell him, I'm like, if I ever bring you one of my Strat necks, don't just sand that shit off, bro.
Yeah. Like if you're going to be leveling the fretboard itself, which they will do quite often, just leave it plain. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I don't like lacquered necks, lacquered boards.
Yeah. And if you don't have to sand down the fretboard at all, just breaking it free. I don't need a buildup in there at all.
No.
I never touched that part of the guitar neck, so I'm fine with that joint.
Right. I mean, I did it to that Les Paul I had. They get Scotch brighted. I can't stand the thick, glossy lacquer on necks, on the backs of necks, fretboards. That shit gets Scotch brighted right off.
I used to Scotch bright, and now I just wax, carnauba wax. And slippery. Well, a high wax car. Oh, jeez. Yep. Okay, same deal.
The Dukes of Hazzard hood slide.
Exactly. Well, and that only started because my dad would go to a ton of car shows, and you get the little gift packs, all the time detail kits, right? And so I got all these little tiny, the spray. You've already cleaned the car, but it's a little extra spray wax. So I started just using that on the back of the neck, and I was just like, "Ooh, this is real slick."
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and I do that shit on all these. I mean, after playing them for so long, they get sticky anyway. So they get Scotch brighted probably once a year. Actually, just did like 4 of them a couple weeks ago.
That's how they do Scotch bright, the Mexican telly, and that's when it gets sticky because most likely you're just pulling all the mung back off and it's getting back to where it was.
Right, and I steal that shit from work because we have an endless supply of it for sanding down plastic parts for recalls and stuff like that. So I just go in there and take a couple big squares and good to go for a year.
Mm-hmm. Bo says, I don't have time to work on guitars, have them done at Motor City. Well, please, that would be a full-time job, just upkeeping Bo's guitar collection.
Right. How many guitars? Does Bo have a complete count on the number of guitars that he owns?
His daughter has that catalog.
That's what I thought.
I'm not sure as of late, but it was funny. I'm going to say it was a little over a year ago when he was on with Charles. I guessed within a couple. Right. So I'm like, how many guitars? He's like, they're like, any questions at all? I'm like, yeah. How many guitars does Bo own? And he's like, I'm like 126. And I think he was at like 128 or something like that. He asked his daughter because she does a spreadsheet.
So 40 Grit's catching up to him. I think it's funny. 40 Grit said he was going to stop at guitar 100, and I think he's at 114 now.
Well, and Bo has slowed down. There was a while there he was buying like one a week, it seemed.
40's like that. He gets where he doesn't buy anything for 6 months, and the next thing you know, within a 3-week span, he's got 5 new ones.
Yeah, I get that.
I always enjoy it because he always calls me or texts me like the listing or whatever. And that dude's like Mr. Deals on Wheels. He finds like the stupidest deals on the best shit. I don't have that luck at all.
There they are. Royal City Wreckers.
Cheers, brother. Cheers from the other side of the river.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I don't cruise the ads like I used to. I used to do a lot of that, a lot of guitar flipping, and
I've got two that's probably going to come up on the old Reaver market here in the next month or so.
Mhm.
That I just don't play.
I get it.
Got
Got a
one of
couple
those.
I've been flirting with getting rid of because I don't play them enough. But until I need more space on the rack, then that's when I'll be like, okay, now I need actual space. So,
Right.
so
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
got
play
a.
my RG enough that I could move it.
Well, that's one of the guitars I'm going to get rid of. I've got a 99 RG 7620
Ooh,
that the guy I got it from, I guess, those old 90s Ibanez's, the paint would just like fall off of them if you look at them wrong.
mm-hmm.
So the guy
Yeah,
that I got
no
it from,
primer bonding at all.
yeah, and their basswood body and all that. And the guy I got it from said the paint on it was complete shit. And I can't remember the guy that does it, but there's a dude I think he's in Knoxville that does the swirl stuff.
Oh yeah,
So he had it swirled black, gray, and silver.
okay.
And it's a really good swirl job. And then it's got, I think it's got Pariah pickups in it. It's like a custom version of the Warface and the Leone and a 7-string version.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought that. Jay Hannon talked me into buying that on a whim.
I am not surprised at that at all.
Complete and total impulse buy. Thanks a lot, Jay. And
Should've
I
been back.
played it all the time for about 6 months, and now it's just like I haven't played that guitar in a year. I think I've brought it out on the channel a couple times, and that was it. But it stays in the case.
I only ever bonded with one 7-string, and that was JJ's 7-string Ibanez. But it's like early 90s, I want to say.
Mhm. It was like a
It's,
universe or something.
that's where all good gear is. My God, the guitar collection we'd have. If we lived in Southern California, like all gear ends up out there, I swear.
Yep.
It just makes you cry looking at the Craigslist out there.
It's like, well, it goes back to 40 grit. He's in Phoenix, and his son's still in Southern California. So every time he drives out there to see his son, he comes
Smart.
back. He comes back with something.
Sure, I get
Three
it.
things or whatever.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Wasn't even looking for anything. Well, that's the nature of the way you are, right? You're going to places with guitars.
Right.
You're talking to people with guitars. You're going to be in a world of guitars.
Yep.
Can I interest you in an S?
It's like he went out there. Last week he went out there, and next thing you know, he's over at Norm's, and he's buying a Les Paul at Norm's, and then he bought something else while he was out there.
What did you think was going to happen?
I
What do
mean,
you mean you went to North?
right?
Yeah. There's a reason I never made the point of going to Norms. Well, no, I did have the credit card with me, so I could have. It's bad enough when I went to Nashville going to Carter's, and I'm like, oh no.
Funny
Oh.
story about Nashville and Carter's. I met Bukovac in Carter's back in like 2012 or 2013 and had no idea who the fuck he was.
No shit.
Yeah, me and a buddy had driven up for a concert, and so we were up there for like 3 days. I'm like, well, we got to hit all the vintage guitar stores.
Right?
So we went to Groon's, and we went to Rumble Seat, we went to Carter's and all that. And when I was in Carter's, I remember it now because, being a follower of him on here,
Sure.
you know what he looks like. I'm like, that's the dude that was over there playing. He was playing, if I remember right, he was playing like a 57 Les Paul Custom or something over there, and just singing tone for days out of whatever the fuck he was playing. And I'm like, that's the guy that was in Carter's that day. I had no idea it was Bukovac.
Back in the days of Laz, I seem to recall him going into Carter's or Norm's or something in Orient. He was there playing.
Norms.
Got some clips.
Yeah, that was Norms.
That's back when her and Sambora were a thing. I think they were.
Randy is asking for Randy. Please ask Randy what the number one is. Although I'm guessing it's a number one A, B, C.
It depends on the song and the tuning.
My number one guitar?
Yeah.
It's this one.
The first one you're gonna grab?
Yeah, no, it's the one. There's no doubt. There's no doubt to it. It's the good old one humbucker fire. This is the only guitar that I've actually kind of walked in the deals on wheels, kind of like right place, right time spot to get this guitar. This is a 2010 USA wild card number 3. And, you know, when they were doing those production run batches, they would do the wild cards. And I think they only did 100 of each. And 4 through 8, I think, are Japanese made, and 1, 2, and 3 were US. And I walked in the shop, which is where the shop I met Willie at. I walked in there, and this thing was hanging on the wall.
On the Wi-Fi.
And I was like, huh. So I had to go check it out. And I'm like, oh, made in USA, one humbucker, top mount Floyd. Back then it was in mint condition. I've played the shit out of this thing. But looked at the price tag, and it was like $650. So I asked the store owner, John, I said, hey, man, what's the deal with that Charvel over there on the wall for $650? He's like, oh, it's on consignment. The guy that owns it's like dying or some shit, and he's starting to part out music gear. I'm like, so, yeah, here, go ahead and get the paperwork ready on that.
Because I was like, shouldn't it be like $16.50 for a US made Charvel?
Right. So I'm like, will you do anything? Just pushing my luck. Will you do any better if I pay cash? He's like, oh, I'll just do $650 flat if you'll do cash, no tax. I'm like, oh, I'm going to run right over there to the ATM. I'll be right back in about 5 minutes.
And just as an FYI, what's your tax rate where you are?
Let's see. Give us a close up.
7%.
Okay.
Is good. Our state sales tax.
Okay. Nothing wrong. Okay. Well, saving 7% is a good deal.
So it's flat black, quarter sawn, one piece.
Right.
Maple. That's why these necks don't move. These older necks are quarter sawn. I think all the MIM shit's flat sawn. But yeah, quarter sawn maple neck. I mean, it's not stock. I have modified it. But I mean, the things come with Grover tuners. That's a Floyd 1000. But it came with a JB, and it had a knurled metal knob on it that I got rid of. And I put my preferred Strat knob on there, and this is a Super 3. So this guitar kind of became my pickup test guitar because it just sounds, and that's the bad thing about this guitar, is it sounds good with no matter what you put in it. The only pickup that sounded like shit in this guitar was that Kramer Eruption pickup when they came out a couple years ago. It had like some frequency that would literally make you nauseated. I don't know. But it's had a JB, a tone zone. What's up, Scott?
Geez, it's almost like you're saying like Tonewood isn't actually a thing, huh?
Right.
Heaven forbid, folks, it is a thing.
I don't remember. I've had like a bunch of pickups in here, but I put the Super 3 in this thing a couple years ago, and it was just like, bam, that's it. The magic. There it is. The Super 3 is it. And then I put the titanium blocks and everything because I crank shit down.
Same.
And I found a guy on Reverb that's a machinist that makes these, you know, the Floyd brass fine tuners are shorter than the black ones.
Yes.
They're like, so this dude machines brass fine tuners to the longer length.
Ooh,
so I bought a bunch of sets of those from that guy. I put a D-tune on it, and it's got the big brass L block on the back of it. 3 springs.
Nice. There's that like Eputone stuff?
Yeah, this one's an Eputone block. And then this is how dumb I am. When I bought this block, I just go, oh, it's a top mount Floyd, it's a 37. Maybe I should have looked because it was a 40 is what the stock block was. So I put the 37 on there and I start looking at it. I'm like, man, the stopper on here is barely contacting this thing. And I picked the stock block up and I was like, oh, that's because that's a 40 millimeter block. Oops. But it works, so I'm not changing it. It's all good. But yeah, this guitar, this is my number one. This one's my favorite. It's got the vibe. It's got the mojo. And it's funny because it's not, I'm sure it's not in tune. It's not that loud, unplugged. but it's really resonant.
Hmm.
But when you plug it in, I mean, it's got everything you could ever want.
Nice.
But that's easily, that's the number one. That guitar will never be sold. And I've gotten offers up to like $2,300-$2,400 for that thing. There was one.
Yeah, again, it's a U.S. Charvel. Like, first of all, good luck finding a U.S. Charvel, period. And then find it. Oh, it can't be in Japan. You know, where you're gonna have to pay the value of the guitar again just to get it shipped over. Right. So, yeah, and then someone doesn't want an arm and a leg for it, or so.
Yep, and those things, I think they were $1,100 brand new back then, 2010.
Which is still a decent deal.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like the Art Series EVH Charvels. Those things go for stupid money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were, I forget how much they were new, but I mean, every time you see those pop up, they're $3,000, $5,000.
Right.
And it's like, they're really not worth it. The only thing that's interesting on those to me is the pickup. Because nobody quite knows what that pickup is. It's not the Frankenstein pickup.
Mm-hmm. It's not just a regular Wolfgang pickup.
It's no, because none of those didn't exist yet when those guitars were made. Right. And I've seen one for sale. It was somebody took the black pick guard off of one of the white and black ones. And they had a shot of the back of it, and it's got a black Fender base plate on it. So Fender made those pickups. So, but yet nobody can tell you if they're an A2, an A5, what the output is on them. They just say it's a custom Van Halen wound humbucker.
Some next level EVH nerd would buy one of those guitars and just dissect it right down, and this is that.
That's exactly what I would
do. Look at you, Rob Johnson.
That's exactly what I would do.
Right? So. Rob can't hear me. He was at NAMM. He's probably not home yet. Marketing. Sure are.
Right.
Randy took some shrooms. I get weird later. I will not be my normal weird. Huh. All right. I don't know why. Does that mean I should be expecting a weird ass text later tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you all impersonating Terry with the links there, Trev.
Well, I can't.
Don't forget my TikTok, Trev.
Come on. And he's also wondering, can you give us a quick rig rundown, Randy, what you're currently using? I mean, this is where I'd refer people to the Tuesday show on the other channel, but not everybody might know about that. So can you give us the...
Yeah, by the way, we very believe that Randy's become quite the pillar of the OU crew community over on the OU channel. And
I'm just a lovable person.
True story.
Same.
Rig rundown. There's not much to it anymore.
Okay.
It goes guitar to a Dunlop 95Q wah because I hate toe switches on wahs. That thing's got to turn off and on when I put my foot on it and take it off.
Okay.
Into the
but don't want a Morley wah.
Well, the only Morley wah that I rocked a Mark Tremonti Morley wah for years and years, and it finally died after like 18 years of using that thing. And I guess Morley and Tremonti severed their deal 2 or 3 years ago because I guess he's pursuing his own pedal company now. And
they're not going to be ghost built through PRS.
Right. But I emailed Morley and said, hey, you know, my Tremonti wah died, and I've kind of been down this road with Dunlop shit, and I hate the toe switch, you know, blah, blah, blah. What do y'all make that's the closest to the Tremonti wah?
Right.
And the guy emailed me back within like 5 minutes and was like, it's going to be the lead wah boost. So I was like, all right, that's cool. So I bought one, and I didn't like it. It's got too much. I like the deeper sweep on them, the throatier mid-range sweep, and the which the Tremonti wah has. The lead wah boost has too much of that, the ear-piercing high end to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a super bright pick attack anyway, So if you ever look at amp settings or anything like that with me, the treble is rolled back and the presence is rolled back and the low end's pushed and then when you're running the dual detune and all that shit, that just adds more treble to it.
Right.
So I didn't like it, so I sold it, and I found out I never knew that the 95Q was switchless. I had no idea Dunlop even made that. And I forget. I think I was watching a rig rundown.
Scotty's offering to fix your Tremonti wah for you.
I may send it to you. I have to go get it out of storage because I've still got it. I think I was watching a rig rundown with Frederick Alkison of Opeth, and he was using the 95Q. He's like, "Yeah, I like it because it's like a Morley. It just works when you put your foot on it." Now you're speaking my language.
Right.
And with it's got the gain boost and the Q dial. So I bought it and I started with the Q back, turned all the way up and just kind of worked it. And while turning the knob, it's like, all right, there's the sweet spot. So the gain boost is all the way up because more gain is better. And the Q dial is probably 3/4 of the way, 75, 80% up. Just enough to get the ear piercing high end out of it.
Okay.
So we
got a guitar, we got a wah.
Go from the wah into the Hot Tone Ampero Stage 2.
Ooh.
And then it goes stereo out of it into 2 channels in the Rodecaster that are blended and panned hard left and right.
Nice.
And then if you want to get nerdy, we can talk about my presets in there.
Bo was asking what amp you would use if you're playing in front of 1,000 people because he's opening a venue that holds 1,000 people. So
not if, but when.
He's humbling, bragging on that, I think. So what amp would you use in a live setting?
If I had to go play live tomorrow night,
yeah,
I would go to my storage unit and I would roll out my 5152 and my oversized Mesa 4x12 with the UK V30s in it, not those shitty Chinese made ones.
Fancy.
Yes. My first half stack was a triple rectifier solo head and an oversized Mesa cab. I sold the head and kept the cab. Then bought a 5152 used. And that hasn't left. It doesn't get used much anymore, but I still got it.
Bring it out every once in a while, dust it off, charge the caps, turn it on, make sure, move the knobs.
Yeah, I think the last time it's been about a year since it was turned on.
Like when you got a car in storage, you just got to go start it a couple times a year just because, right?
Right.
Keep things moving.
It's been retubed and recapped because when I got it, it wasn't in, I guess whoever had it had gigged the hell out of it. It wasn't in great shape. So I had that, I can't remember that guy's name. His name's Jeff. I can't remember the name of his shop, but I had him, he retubed it and recapped it. It's just a fire breather. And I prefer the sound of the 2 over the 3s and their BOG 5150. They sound more like a Soldano.
Okay.
Than the original the new ones.
I would think the original 5150 they were going for because that's what Eddie was previously playing through.
They're close. There is
obviously some tweaks because everybody's going to want to tweak whatever. But
yeah, Randall Smith stole the Soldano circuit. So I mean, the original rectifier. I mean, it's dead nuts. Just you have the option of solid state or tube rectifiers, but yeah, this close. But I mean, you can kind of what's his name? What's our Finnish buddy's name? Hi, I'm Elgo Barovilta, that guy. He did a video a couple years ago where he did a SLO 100 and a 5152 back to back to see how close he could get them to sound, and they were pretty much identical. The 2 has less gain, even though they advertised it as having more gain than the original. The 2 has less gain than the OG. Mm. Just the big thing for me with the 2 when I got it was independent EQs for the 2 channels.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, which I don't ever really use a clean anyway. Even like when I was gigging all the time, I used a dirty clean.
Right.
Which, I mean, name me a high gain amp that the clean channel is worth a shit on for crystal clean,
Right.
Clean tones. There's not many.
No. Well, because one, it's almost impossible to do. You're going to get noise interference. The same way when, when I was asking our friend Lawrence to build me a pedal. Like, he does a lot of 2 overdrives in one housing, and I wanted a Marshall on one side and a Boogie on the other to combine them for a Master of Puppets tone. And he's like, I can't do that. It'd be too noisy in one pedal housing. You need it separated into 2 separate pedals.
Right.
So, okay. And so, yeah, that's a whole other project. But yeah. And so I imagine it's the same idea. And plus, generally, if you have a super high gain amp and that's your main tone, you're never playing clean. Do you get, like, I know even when I gig, like my clean tone was at least with a Klon type on. Like, there was always some dirt. Not much, but it was pretty clean, but it was still like 60s dirty type thing.
I mean, half the time I would just be lazy and just roll the volume down on the guitar.
Sure.
So there's that.
It's kind of a bit of a segue there with the Master of Puppets. This is, Ben's always got the year of, right? I don't know if you caught the latest year of. It's the year of the Master of Puppets tone.
That's the tone I'm pursuing this year.
86.
Now, Randy's a fan. I know he had that under his belt.
How can you not be a fan of that album? Like, it's pretty much one of the pinnacle of tone-wise for metal tone.
Yep.
What would you use to try and get that tone, Randy?
I mean, the only thing you're going to use to get that tone is going to be a 2C plus and a Marshall.
Yeah.
I mean,
Blended together, right?
Yeah, I mean, was it Tone Gods has had Fleming Rasmussen recreating that here recently with a couple of different musicians going through like all the mic position. Like, that dude still got his notebook full of all of his notes from that album of how the amps were set, what the cabs were mic'd with, where the mic positions were. I mean, the pre's that everything went through. I mean, and for
I
guitars,
don't need the tube
the
screamer,
bass.
Scotty, because I'm not going for Kirk's tone. I'm going for Hetfield's tone. Yeah. And so I was talking with our friend Lawrence, the pedal builder, Randy, and he's built this pedal called the Router that allows you, it's kind of like an A-B-Y, but also you can run 2 pedals in parallel with each other. So I'm like, so I can go out to stereo and then back to mono, back out of the pedal. I'm like, so in theory, if I put a Marshall in one side and a Boogie pedal in the other side, I should be able to approach the Master of Puppets tone.
Yeah.
And his response was, I would like to see you do that. And I replied, it's on. So 2026 is the year of that tone. Although we did get sidetracked briefly by purchasing another pedal the other day.
Was it 86 that Master of Puppets came out?
Yes.
Yep.
So it is the 30th.
40th.
Ooh, 40th. Oh. Can we get it done by the? I'll look at the release date. Can we do it by the release date? Ooh, all right. Oh, so yeah, and also, folks, any donations that go to the virtual tip jar go towards this project.
Lawrence.
Yeah, basically forwarded to Lawrence. I think I've got Lawrence.
Does LPD do gift cards?
Well, the problem is the Mach 1 pedal I want to do for the Boogie side, Trev, he doesn't make anymore, so I'm going to have to buy that used. And of course, currently there's none on Reverb. So
I've seen one in the wild. Who had one? It was unfucking believable, wasn't it?
Well, he's got all of them though, and he won't part with.
He had 2, didn't he? So Mitch, if you're watching this,
Ben, if you're going for the release date, you've got about 5 weeks.
Damn it!
March 3rd. 86.
I will not make the release date.
That's too close.
We have tremendous support here, folks, including the donation of a certain pedal. Although I might be able to snag a prototype out of him.
You could do, let's say, the anniversary of Cliff Burton's passing date, that will give you at least till the end of September.
There we go. Rest in peace, Cliff.
R.I.P. Cliff. Yeah, I see that would be a good tribute to roll out on such an anniversary.
Terry said no bass. Wrong album, brah. Puppets has bass.
Yeah, all the bass.
Cliff.
Yeah. You can't shelve Cliff out of a mix.
No.
Because Cliff would be like, I'm not going on tour. Why? Because we're supporting the album. Yeah, but you can't hear me on the album. So in order to support it, what am I going to do there? Just mime it?
Cliff was hugely important to their arrangements and shit too.
Yes, because he had musical training.
Right, he's the one that would write all the dual guitar harmonies for James and Kirk because he knew exactly how to do it. And I remember,
because it's not straight. Oh, you just play 3 frets higher than me all the time. No, sometimes you have to adjust for it to sound right, and yeah.
Yep. Because I remember James talking about writing them for the Justice album, and him and Kirk having to sit there, and he's like, it would take hours for us to sit here and figure these harmonies out when Cliff could just sit there and like that.
Yeah, because it'd be like, I can see like you and I'd be sitting there, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to play, let's say 3 frets above you, and also we'll like, oh, we hit a sour note. Okay, find the right note, and get to the next one. All right, so yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of that tone. That's Marshall and a 2C plus all day, and then it's debated on the pickups and the guitars that James used on that.
Right,
team.
that was right on the cusp of the EMG-ness.
Well, his I've got his book that's got all his guitars in it. His important guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's funny. I was actually looking at that book last night, but there's a big debate because everybody knows he had a white King V.
Right.
Right.
And there was an Invader in there or something, right?
There was Invaders in it at one point because it came stock with the Jackson pickups. And then James put Invaders in it because he was trying different shit. And then the 2 Explorers, one of them had Dirty Fingers and one of them had T-tops.
Which makes sense because if those would have been the stock pickups over the various times, yeah. And that's what my thinking was during the recording was if he was using his Explorers, you're basically a stock pickup.
Right.
So, and I've got that covered. So,
True.
I think the 500T in my Explorer will cover that easily.
And then
You might have to adjust your pickup height back up maybe a couple turns, Ben.
Oh, I don't think so, Trev. Randy, you don't know that story. Holy shit. So I snagged the Explorer, and it's got a 498 in the neck and a 500 in the bridge.
Right.
Okay. And got it home. We hop on StreamYard, Trev and me, and plug it in, tune it up, hit a chord, and it sounds like I've got a tube screamer on going into the Fender amp. And Joe's like, what overdrive's on? I look down. None. Now, the dirty channel on a Fender Blues Deluxe was not as distorted as what we were hearing. And I'm like, that's the clean channel in my Fender. We lowered the pickup 7 complete winds of those screws to get the pickups to clean up. I was just like,
to your standards, I still like it the way it was out of the box.
This is a signal path that I can play my Wolfgang through. No problem. Clean as a whistle. Ernie Ball. Clean as a whistle. My Mexican Telly with 15K output pickups. No problem. Like, I don't know what the winding was on that bridge pickup, but it was a hell of a lot more than 15K. That's alleged the output of.
Part of the reason why I love her. Ben only lets it go outside in a dress, but I like it when she wears a skirt.
And there's no need to worry about Kirk, because Kirk was using EMGs at that point. But there's no need to worry about that, because that's back in the days when Kirk didn't track rhythms on albums.
No. Let's say he was only the solos, so...
Yeah, he did overdubs and solos. And I think that was the album that they did a lot of tape speed manipulation on that album as well. A lot of that shit was recorded slower, and then Fleming sped the tape up.
I mean, there's that harmony part, that
and I wouldn't doubt, and I think they even slowed some stuff down as well, like just to get it that heavy. Just okay, and it doesn't take much. You know, few BPM, and all of a sudden, it's just you're just detuning it just a bit.
Well, like Thing That Should Not Be is probably the best example of it, of being sped up.
Right.
Because it's closer to D standard tuning on the album, but it was recorded in C sharp. They've always played it live in C sharp standard. And it's when you try to play along with the record, you're D standard and like 20 cents lower.
Mm-hmm.
You're not quite to that C sharp. So, and then I remember buying the official tab book for that album as a kid, and it had it play it in drop D. No. But I know he said that Puppets was recorded slower and they detuned the guitars a quarter step so it would be in standard when they sped the tape up. But even then, it's still not quite standard tuning. I think it's down just a smidge.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Sanitarium, I think the beginning of Sanitarium was slowed and the end of Sanitarium was sped up. And it's like, why did they do that? Because Hetfield can play that fast.
Exactly.
You know, but he was tracking, you know, you got two guitars on this side, two rhythms on this side, and then let's put a thickener in the center.
Yeah.
And you've got to have them tight.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they did it. And everyone was like, oh, they were cheating.
Well,
and it's not like nowadays where you can just, you know, plug in basically clean direct into the board, play the part, and say, okay, copy it from one track to 6 now,
right,
and then EQ them all slightly different,
reamp it through this amp, reamp this signal through this amp,
so they all sound slightly different, and speed up by 0.5%, so it'll sound tight but not perfect, or you know.
It's kind of like
how many. Over all the decades, they are probably the band I've seen the most live. Maybe second only to Slayer. The two Metallica and Slayer concerts, easily 20 times each over the years.
I've seen
and Metallica never disappoints. Their live shows, even during the load years, didn't suck. They always put on a good show.
Yep, they played the final concert at the Omni Arena here in Atlanta in 96 or 97. It's like they played, it was the load tour. And they played the final show, and like 2 weeks later, they demolished that fucker to build the Falcons, the losing ass Falcons, a football stadium. So there's that.
The losing ass Falcons. I'm going to call it that from now.
That's what they are. It sucks to be an Atlanta sports fan. That's why I just don't watch the shit. Every now and then the Braves will bring us some joy, but that's about it.
But not always from a Canadian perspective. Sorry. It's been 30 years. We're over it.
Right? Speaking of Metallica tones, you know how many people don't realize there's a JCM 800 in that sound on the Black Album?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks that tone's all boogie, and if there's an 800 in there, and if you take the 800 out, the tone
Steve
is
Carmichael?
like, what happened?
Steve Carmichael was at that Omni concert.
Yep.
Right on.
I think I said this the other night. I ran into Steve Carmichael at my job. I don't know, a couple years ago. He come in to pick his vehicle up, and then fairly local. So, yep. Last show at the Omni was Metallica. Was that 96 or 97? I don't remember. Of course, I was a kid too, so there's that.
I just remember when 90s with Metallica, the
Montreal. The Black Album, they opened a tour here and they did back dates, right? They did 2 shows. I saw one from a booth and one from the floor. It was a grandiose experience.
Yeah, I didn't get to see them live, unfortunately.
One of my buddies that I work with saw them at the Omni on the Justice Tour in '89. To this day, still says that's the best show he's ever seen.
And Caterer at the Master of Puppets show.
I think they played Atlanta twice on the Black Album tour. And he's seen them every show since. I think the first show they played in Atlanta was on the Justice Tour. But he's seen every show since then.
He's like, pretty cool live. But that stage started falling apart and then a little bit more.
He said the cool thing about the Black Album tour shows though was they were 3.5 hours long. He's like, they were playing like 28 song set lists.
Well, they're doing that whole Unforgiven opening fucking saga segment with the big screen, and usually you're just sitting around listening to shit music, looking to see if you can see any of your buddies having a dart or whatever. But no, they're gonna make it dark and play this little fucking five.
If you saw Metallica live, let us know where and when.
Yeah.
Stimulate that and all.
If you've seen them many
Billy
times.
saw on the Justice tour with Cult.
My favorite was the Shit in the Fields tour at UBC, live outside in the mud pit.
Scotty was at one of the 2 Seattle '89 shows that was filmed and recorded.
The box set, right? They eat binge and shit.
They did 2 nights, and I don't remember if Scotty was at night 1 or night 2, but he was at one of them.
Right. I wouldn't mind getting that box set. I've seen them on the marketplace every once in a while.
You want to get the big one with the VHSs or the little
You
digipack
got
CD
the
one?
The DVDs, the CDs, and the VHSs, I think, right? With the big box.
Yeah, well, I've got both versions.
Yeah.
I've got the big box with the VHSs. The only thing they did different, the thing that sucks about the CD version, the later version, is the picture book, the tour book, the 3-year tour book is on a CD now.
Right.
So you don't have the physical. I like physical book copies of stuff like that. But I was born in the wrong decade too, so there's that.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Everybody says that. In the early 80s, I wanted to be a late 60s hippie. Yeah, I pretty much did. Still am for that most part.
There you go.
I'm working on it, Trev.
See, I should have been an 80s metalhead, just not 20 years later.
I was to an extent.
Mm.
There's plenty of modern metal stuff that I like, but man, I love the 80s stuff.
It was my last year of high school when I watched The Switch, because I remember literally, because I was, one of those guys, like a lot of us, playing guitar in the hallway during lunch period or whenever, whatever. And, it went from one day, can you play Eruption, to the next day, can you play Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Right.
And I was like, whoa, it changed just.
See,
and it went from, can you play Eruption? No. Do you know how hard that is? Yes. To, can you play Smells Like Teen Spirit? Yes. Will you? No. No.
See, when I was in high school, it was the whole new metal craze. I would say the biggest bands at the time it was Korn, Limp Bizkit, Stained was huge,
Right.
Slipknot was huge, that
Mudvayne.
kind of stuff. Mudvayne.
Did you
Mudvayne
play pretty mean Mudvayne? I'm just saying.
Mudvayne was huge, all that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yep.
and then being from Atlanta, you've got to rep the Seven Dust Boys. So
Sure.
they never got their due and all that. They just always end up getting buried.
That was the decline years for Pantera.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But that little bit of, what was it, Damage Plan and...
That Damage Plan album's not good. It's got like 3 or 4 decent tracks on it. And
Right.
now the song they did with Jerry Cantrell for the Punisher soundtrack's awesome.
True that.
Ashes to Ashes. That song kicks ass. But
By the way, hey, Jason. Good to see you. Jason snuck in here. Forgot to say hey. So we're going to go a few more minutes here, folks. It's been an awesome hang thus far.
Yeah, man.
who's got more guitar questions?
Yeah. Because we even have guitar answers.
Right.
Go ahead and get nerdy. Randy is wise in the ways of
Design, involve, and explore. Just
Billy says, you guys are making me feel really old. I'm like, well, yeah, but didn't you see, like, Zeppelin live?
What, when he was 9?
You want to
So
feel
it'll happen
older.
at the Water Buffalo meeting. Sometimes they'll talk about a certain band, and they're like, hey, did you ever see them? I'm like, the concert you're referring to? Yeah, I was 4. So, no. What's up, Mayhem?
You want to feel even older? I still have 1 year left of my 30s.
Okay, I do feel old.
See, he was born in the wrong decade because he feels like he's one of us.
And what's today? The 25th?
He's still a
Yeah.
young fella, but
Right?
I got a year and 20 days left of my 30s.
Nice.
So
well, there you go.
don't let the
15.
gray beard fool you.
Somebody younger than Zach. Who knew?
He was 15 when he saw Zeppelin.
Yeah, still.
That was a pretty good concert, I'll bet.
Yeah, 'cause what they broke up in '80 when I was 6.
A year before I could get my driver's license. That was, I hadn't even gone to really any serious concerts at that point yet. There's like the Headpins and Street Heart and Alda Nova, all the Canadian bands.
Actor Trait saw Robert Plant on the Pictures at 11 tour with Phil Collins playing drums. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So Zeppelin's one of those bands that I didn't get into until I was about 30.
Yeah.
I
had
just
a good buddy in high school. That was it. He ate, slept, and drank fucking Zeppelin, and I was all about Metallica. And he started to like Metallica, and I totally got exposed to the whole world of Zeppelin.
Billy,
I was watching tears, brother.
Well, in my teens and 20s, I was into Van Halen. Eddie's always my number one. That'll never change. That dude changed everything for me,
Mm-hmm.
And but I was still into like the virtuoso shredder 80s stuff, and then the thrash metal and all that from the 80s. And this is the early 2000s, late 90s, and you've always got that couple of friends that listen to the older music with you,
Sure.
And I had a buddy that he was just huge into Zeppelin. Oh, Jimmy Page is the best. Robert Plant's the best. Bono, it's just Zeppelin, Zeppelin. And I was the same way about Van Halen. And I'm just like, man, fuck Jimmy Page. That dude's sloppy as fuck. Blah, blah, blah. He's no Eddie Van Halen. And I finally sat down and started listening to Zeppelin, at around 29, 30. I'm like, okay, I get it. This shit's great.
But it's definitely a different. Eddie could be a little sloppy at times in a good way. Jimmy could be sloppy at times in a good way, but definitely. Well, the difference is basically cocaine versus heroin. So there's that.
It would have been a lot different being there at the time versus looking at it.
Well, and it's just a different mindset because people push each other and stuff.
Sure.
Cheers, Mark Spurgeon.
What's up, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, Eddie was influenced by Jimmy, so
yeah. Well, it's like I've been always like a fan of Rush, for instance, but it wasn't until not that long ago revisiting my Rush collection that all of a sudden I'm listening to 2112 and I'm like, fuck, I get it now.
Right.
I was on mushrooms at the time. That helped, but
The Who was another band like that too. Growing up, you heard them on the radio. Pinball Wizard. Mm-hmm. Then somewhere around 1920, a good buddy of mine was, no, you got to check it out. Look at some of the deeper cuts and that older stuff when they first came out, and you got to kind of put on the 70s glasses and look at it from the retrospective where it was when it was doing it. And it's like, you can get it.
Yeah, actually, The Who is one of those few bands that would manage to stay relevant from we still got like short hair wearing suits, basically.
Right.
All right through the 70s completely. They were still an arena rock powerhouse band,
Mm-hmm.
I saw some footage of Roger Daltrey here recently, and he still doesn't sound. He sounds pretty good still for his age. I mean, if that guy's pushing 80?
Gotta be by now.
So, and then it's not complete without Townsend having his onstage meltdowns, smashing guitars, and
the Crazy Whirlwind man, right? Of course, Keith Moon with his drum kit. I mean, they went nuts. That was chemically induced, fueled, endorphin, fucking rage kind of rock and roll, man.
We set the standard, rat trash in hotel rooms and just crazy debauchery.
Ozzy snorting ants out by the pool.
Keith finally made it. We're about to wrap up, and Keith finally showed up. Jeez Louise, Keith. Rock Daddy is not dating himself, but went to see the Ventures in '67. Wow. Okay. Later, Vanilla Fudge, Humble Pie, Cream, Grand Funk, Stones, etc. Have a T-shirt. I may be old, but I saw all the best bands. Fucking right, you did.
See, that's why I need to sit at a campfire with Rock Daddy for at least 2 nights and listen.
This is why, I do enjoy
that into a fucking show.
This community, we'll do a Zoom hang, and we've got Ferd, who's now in the second year of his 70s, talk about shit, and then you got Zach, who's right about 40. So we've got literally a 30-year span of perspective
You
Right.
get Rock Daddy on a Sunday. I know I've seen him on camera before.
I don't know.
Barely at Zim's. Guest appearance when he's at Zim's and Zim's is on something.
Okay.
I still say though, I mean, with all the modern advancements in technology and music equipment and whatever, the classic stuff will still be classic, and the modern shit will be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
All those attempts, all those little peaks, but there's the big peaks, right?
Yeah. Well, like all the shit now
How
with
long will those big peaks go on?
the
Well, it'd be
silence,
like Beethoven and Chopin.
Yeah. Silent stage bullshit.
silent stages, in ears, which I mean, whatever. I'm wearing in ears now, but you know, click track on everything. Everything recorded is put to a grid and processed and EQ'd to death. And
How about the fact that you notice a lot of opening acts now? Like Pete's always talking about, like when Brick goes out on tour with, it'd be like she's playing drums with a singer, and the rest of the band is virtual, essentially. So it's like part backing tracks with part live band, because they're like, well, we can only afford like 2 or 3 people. You're like, I have a 5-piece band. Well, you can't bring 2 of them.
right.
What kind of bullshit is that?
Well, it's kind of counter the whole Zeppelin Bonham thing. I mean, the thing with Bonham was his push, pull, swing shit when he's playing drums. You can't put that into a digitized thing, and the robot ain't going to know when to do that.
No.
Yeah,
But
you
on
can only
fucking
play
drums,
off and click so much.
Rock and roll experience.
And even then, only one person can do it. Like, you could do it on guitar, but that means the bass player has to be completely locked in with that.
Right? And you get this.
And so, yeah, you don't get that ebb and flow where, yeah, it might be the bass and guitar holding down where the drums get to move around a bit or something.
What's like that? What's that fucking Polyphia, the Tim Henson kid?
Right? Yeah.
What's like in, you know, I don't care anything about that. You know, I get it. He's doing something different, or is he? I mean, Animals Leaders was first. I don't listen to it, but you know, it was like 2 or 3 years ago. They had there was a clip out of their drummer. I think they were playing Download or one of the big festivals, and his in-ears quit working. Well, they're on a silent stage, and the guitar players and the bassist are playing through Kempers, and it's all direct. And he had to have his drum tech come sit right down there next to him with a drumstick and tap the tempo on his left leg while he's playing, so he could play the song.
Right. Well, that's like,
That's lame.
You know, modeling's the future. Well, not if you don't have the original circuit for you to model, for one thing, you know, and 2, like, you can play through as much virtual shit as you can, but it's not the same. An algorithm does not replace an actual circuit.
No,
it can't. It gets close, but it can't actually replace it.
no. I mean, and like, I use this hot tone thing for what we do. It's great for that.
Yeah.
But if I joined a band to go play, I don't care if it was a cover band.
Yeah.
If I joined a band to go play gigs tomorrow,
Which you could take that same unit and put it through a full range cab or speaker or whatever and make it loud, but
I'm not going to. I would use it because it's on my board, but I would use it for, I mean, it's MIDI, so I can use it for patches and changing channels. So it would be used for effects and channel switching on the amp.
Right.
You know, that's what I would use it for, because the 5152 and the Mesa 4x12 is going to get rolled out. You know, and then you get all the modern sound guys go, oh my God, a 4x12 and a 120 watt head? Huh.
Dios mio!
you know, I tell them most time, don't mic me. You don't need to put me through the PA. Why? They will hear me.
My buddy Anthony is he's in a gigging cover band called Nick and the Knacks around here in Atlanta, and he is still fighting the fight of the tube amp at these places they play, and he shows up with, depending where they play, it's either a 212 or a 412, a 30 watt SLO, and he's got a Germino modded Plexi copy.
Nice.
And he lugs all, and his pedal board's this fucking big, and he's got a loop switcher, and it's all analog, dude.
I remember seeing local band. They were very much in the vein of Iron Maiden, and the guitar players are coming in. They carry in a couple guitar cases each, and then another. What I thought was a flight case, you know, the black with the aluminum trim around it. Nope, those were their pedal boards. I was like, wow, yay. Okay. But then they open up and there's a lot of wasted space. I'm like, dude, it's not even full. To well, I load up once, you know how heavy that is? I'm like, who cares?
Right.
You got a pedal board the size of a guitar case.
You know what you need? You need to get yourself a Mark Taft.
You do. Yeah. Throw some dollies on the end. You're good.
It's like Monkey from Korn's pedal board in the early 2000s. It was like 6 feet long
Exactly.
and loaded.
See, for me, I'd be every time you make a connection with another cable, you have a point of failure.
You can't think of it that way, Trev.
Fucking hell! Next thing you know,
Nah, it's fun having
even with
the tap
5
dance.
pedals, the whole point of failure thing, and now it turns out it wasn't any of the
Dude,
things.
I ran in a room at 14 on my board,
cable legs looking like an antenna.
but I have it also set up like a multi-channel LAN where there's half a dozen different overdrive combinations. Originators are remembered, posers are not. Well
Right.
said.
Yeah, I always give my buddy Anthony the fist bump on the fighting the volume wars with sound guys. Because he's just like, I don't care what they say. I'm bringing my shit. I'm not playing.
Yeah.
He's like, there's so many. He's like, anytime we play in new places, they're always like, so are you running a Fractal or a Kemper? Or he's like, no, I'm running a Soldano and a Germino. And looking at the size of this place, I can bring the
I got
412.
my sound looked after.
Right. He's like,
Just tell
judging
me
by the
when to
size
stop.
of
I'm
this.
going to turn it up loud until you tell me when to stop, and I'm going to turn it up a little bit more, and that'll be it.
He's like, I ought to build a stereo rig instead of just having an amp switcher. I'm like,
I'm gonna make
that'll
sure
really
that-
piss him off. Sound guys hate stereo rigs.
Any of y'all watch
So,
the
yeah, I know.
second Spinal Tap yet?
But again, like,
Watch
screw
it
the
the other
sound guy.
night.
You know, and that's coming from a guy. I used to do sound, but if a band showed up with a lot of loud gear, I'm like, great, because now all I have to do is run vocals through the PA, maybe a kick mic, maybe.
Right.
Yay! It's a dream. Set it and forget it. Because I know, you're going to do your own lead boost for your lead, so I don't have to worry about any of that. There's no active work. Perfect.
I ran a stereo rig for a short time. I had a old Randall Century 200 head and a Randall cab, and I used it for the effects. So my it was a wet dry stereo rig.
Sure.
So the dual delay, and I'd have delay, and your chorus and all that shit would go through the Randall side. And I remember the sound guy, I think it was at the Masquerade, told me, he goes, dude, nobody cares about this stereo shit. Only the people in the first 6 rows can hear it anyway.
And I say, I can hear it.
Like, I can hear it.
And
That's
that
all
makes
that
a
matters.
difference. If you sound better to yourself, you will play better. It's a proven fact. Because I also know when I've sounded like shit, in my own opinion, on stage, all of a sudden I'm turning shit down. Like, I don't even want to be heard. Like, I need to figure this out,
Going over there every time you get a break, tweaking mid-range and all that shit. Yeah. Yeah, that guy was pissed. And the guy was a grouchy old fucker anyway, but he was a really good sound guy. But he was like, man, I hate these kids bringing these stereo setups in. Nobody can hear it past the first 5 or 6 rows, blah, blah, blah. And then we were a 2-guitar band too. So he's like, you really don't need this. It sounds better.
Yeah.
It sounds better.
Sounds bigger. More is more.
It's like, you realize there's a lot of sections in our songs where he's not playing anything, right? That's the point of this. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, they hate that shit.
Yeah, they're the same guys. So, like, what would they do if the band showed up and they had 2 drummers?
Living
Not
sacrifice.
to mention, you can't fit 2 drummers in a band with 2 drummers on most modern bar/club stages.
Right.
Drummer number 1 and drummer number 2 over at the sidebar.
Yeah.
That Christian metal band Living Sacrifice had 2 drummers back in the late 90s or early 2000s. I saw them guys at the Masquerade, and there's 2 drum kits getting wheeled out on stage. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right?
And the guitar player, one of the guitar players ended up being the drummer in Evanescence.
Oh,
So I think they're all from Arkansas. And
It was the depth of field in Arkansas.
right. Yeah, the guitar player in Living Sacrifice was the drummer in Evanescence for like their first 2 albums. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'd never seen
Oh, you know.
a metal band with 2 drummers before like that. I mean, it wasn't like a drummer and a percussionist. It was 2 full on like 10-piece drum sets rolling.
Right, yeah. Like
It was Godsmack when they were playing. I think it was a Metallica show they were opening for. And Sully got on a drum kit and they were doing
Yep.
back and forth with the 2 drum things.
Yep.
And
That was
pretty
cool. Saw that at 2004.
Right.
That was that, you know, and that was kind of like that tour where Metallica, like Hetfield was coming out of rehab, Rob Trujillo was new.
Right.
You could tell the guys were like kind of uneasy, and Godsmack gave them a run for their money that night.
It was a good show back to back for sure. And the highlight of the show for me was that scene in my head where you had the 2 drummers. I was like, oh fuck, this is cool, right?
Ooh, we've got. This will probably be the last. Right, I didn't realize we went over. But Michael B., one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. OU crew sounds amazing. Number 1 tip for getting the right levels for streaming.
Be too loud.
I remember in the old days when we were first starting out, Michael B. came on and he was singing U2 during the jam. You can go back and look in the archives.
I think our thing for the levels is just staying around unity gain on the Roadcasters. I think the Roadcasters is the biggest weapon
And I think
use for that.
part of the challenge there is jumping back and forth between StreamYard and EV months. Just ask Matt. I mean,
Right.
You got to set your shit up different when you're going from one to the other. You got to have a different.
Well, yeah, it depends on the platform, but also Roadcaster helps apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's like if I jump on with Steve and Quentin, I have both my
Right.
so my left and right go into channels 3 and 4, but I have them paired in the Roadcaster, then just hard panned.
Right.
So when I go on with Steve and Quentin, I just roll my fader down and just play and just, all right, just tell me when to stop, as I move it up. And that's Steve's
Right.
like, all right, that's good. That way I don't have to really get in here and adjust dB levels and all that shit. I just do it with the slider.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes it way easier.
Right. And then, depending on your rig, that's another thing, because if you were to go in and look at your overall dB boost level in this thing, I mean, I'm sure all of us on there we're at a different level. Like I think I've got a 14 dB boost on my guitar signal. And I think Ryan's at like 5 and Jimmy's at like 10. I have no idea what John's at, but I think John and I are pretty similar. And then your Windows recording volumes has got to be everybody's Windows volume's different.
Right. I think we all try and hit around 70.
Yeah, I think mine's at 74. But like you could do the Jimmy, just have it on 100 and then everything else at 100 and then just blow everybody's ears out the first time you come on too. That was the best shit ever. Everybody like threw their headphones off except for John. He just sat there and laughed. He goes,
I think
fucking
he moved them
hell.
up the side of his head where he does.
Yeah.
He just pulled them up. With his,
Zach says he's finally got his volume much better.
Yeah, you did last night.
Yeah, he sounded great today on the Guitar Talk Universe. Of course, every Saturday night you can catch Randy on the OU812 show.
Damn straight.
And
Well, for the most
Tuesdays.
part. And there are times where life happens and people can't make it to a show. Just saying.
And Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Sometimes
The Guitar
Thursdays.
Arsenal?
I miss the old Thursdays. Whatever happened to Trans Trim? He's got a new Trans Trim too. There should be one next week. I'm going to put that in the chat.
Yeah, we may do that since he did just get another one.
He's got a new one, and I think he needs to spend some more time on it before he gets a fucking chisel out. Just saying.
Fuck. Do not take a chisel to a vintage guitar, for fuck's sakes.
Oh,
He's surprised. He's pretty determined.
yeah, I mean, for like my aspect of it, I'm like, leave the angled single because I just think that looks cool.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a guitar that does something else, get a guitar that does something else.
Well,
Have a guitar made.
So when people say, like, do I modify guitars? No, I buy guitars that don't need to be modded.
I buy guitars that don't need to be modded and mod them anyway.
Well, there's that.
Well, I did build that last one.
No, that's it. If I have a part that fails in a guitar, if I can replace it with a better part, I will.
Right.
Because I see it as an opportunity. If I have a pickup failure, I'm like, ooh, what are we going to replace it with?
Right. Yeah, I don't think any of my guitars are stock. I think they've all at least had pickup changes. Well, the new Tiger's stock. For now.
Richard says, headless guitars suck. Remind me of my last marriage. No, you don't use a whole saw because, first of all, pickups aren't round.
I think I've seen Randy play a fucking Steinberger.
You have.
I don't think we were live when you did that. Was it?
Yeah, yeah, we were.
Yeah.
That was the first time Ryan and I met up, and we went to like
And
the
you went
three.
back to his place after.
We went to the three stores and went back to his place.
And it was like playing a shovel.
The GM1T, the black one.
Yeah.
That was way more, I guess you would say, comfortable than playing.
Relatable. Yeah.
Than playing the fucking the boat
Little.
pour.
The cigar box. Yeah.
7.
Yeah, the paddle.
Yeah, you flipped out the little leg brace thing on it for me, and it was still like, this is weird. And then when it doesn't have a headstock, for some reason, your brain registers the second fret as the first fret.
I don't want to send my head off.
Yeah, there's no headstock, so it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's weird, man. But you know what? I'll give it to Ryan, and I've said it a bunch.
Yeah.
That being my first interaction playing a Steinberger with that trans trim system, that shit ain't easy.
No, there's a lot of math going on there.
No, to play Summer Nights, I don't really give the credit on Get Up because you're really just wanking the thing around. But to be able to like nail those pitches, in the right timing on that, on like shit like Summer Nights, that takes some
okay,
issue,
this will be the last
effort.
question. How about an opinion on Johnny Highland?
The Country 80 Van Halen?
Yep. Boy can shred.
He's in my contacts. So,
Is he still playing PRS or did he move on?
No.
Yeah, I thought he moved on.
No, he's been playing Kiesel last while, I thought.
Because he went to Ernie Ball for a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he was with Ernie Ball for a minute, but yeah. No, Kiesel last number of years. I haven't talked to him lately. I have his Phase 90 upstairs.
Huh. There's a lot of love and hate for Kiesel. I can't say that I've ever been impressed by a Kiesel that I've played.
Well, I'm still waiting for Bo to get his.
Until they can answer
Or
the
his
question.
Kiesel from Kiesel. He orders his Kiesels from Daddy Kiesel.
Now, nowadays, the last day of NAMM is open to the public. Fine. But when I went to NAMM, it was not open to the public at all, Randy.
Right.
Why the fuck is a company that only sells directly to the public at NAMM? That right there. That other than to lure in people that really shouldn't be there, like myself, to go, oh, you want a guitar? Yeah.
Right.
But no.
Speaking of
No,
NAMM,
because they couldn't install a kill switch correctly. Who the fuck? Even I installed a kill switch correctly. On my
right.
first. It's 2 wires.
Speaking of NAMM, I have thoughts on NAMM, especially this year.
Thoughts?
So my thought, it looked really fucking lame.
I've watched like no coverage, so I wouldn't know.
I've watched a bunch of it, like clips on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff, and some YouTube stuff.
Ola's footage and Dweezils. That's where I'm at.
But it's like you see the performances at the different vendors' booths and whatnot, and you're like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah. There's 100,000 million guitar players out
I
there.
can answer that, Randy. I performed at a booth once, even. But I did it because of it being a bucket list item, perform at NAMM.
Jesus,
And I did it basically, that was the only reason. But as soon as I agreed to do it, I went, oh, shit. I got to play at fucking NAMM. I don't want to play at NAMM.
in front of
Play guitar better than me walking by while I'm playing guitar. I don't want to do that. But then I did it. I was not sober. That was the key.
Well, I just noticed it seemed like all the manufacturers that were actually there, it's like most of their performers were like social media influencers,
Right.
and not even the good ones.
Right. Yeah, like when I was there, or to end each day, Phil X played for an hour, the last hour of each day at the Gibson room, which wasn't a booth, it was a full room at that time. Stuff like that. Or I'm trying to think. The only demos at the Friedman booth when I was there was Sammy Bowler and David Black did some, which was fine. But you don't really need to have someone hired to perform at the Friedman booth because there's enough legit rock stars walking in to try the new gear.
Right.
Like when George Lynch is already there, like I've said that before, like it was hard for me to even play an amp, Randy, because like I'm really, like most people, I care about how I play, and I'm not a shredder, and that's a lot of shredders hung out there. And I plug in, and literally George Lynch walked in the room to talk to Dave. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm not playing.
Right.
No. Why? Because they also don't have it at whisper volume. It's not stage volume, but it's upper bedroom volume.
You got to get up there and ride a bull.
Yeah, and the cab is next to them, like it's across the room from me, where they're standing, so they're going to hear me better than me. I'm like, no.
Oh, it's like that. You've seen the video, Lewis, when he's sitting there at Tone King, sitting there at NAMM playing the EV8 shit, and Ed walks up,
right?
And Ed's like, "Oh, keep playing, man. Who the fuck are you kidding? Keep playing. I can't even think right now. You're sitting there." He's sitting there playing that Stripe Series guitar, and then Ed Van Halen walks up, and he's like, "Oh my God!" He's like, "No, man, it sounds good. Keep playing." Yeah, right. My heart's beating 200 BPM, and I can't breathe. Did you want me to play? No.
I still the one event I was at in Toronto when I was the first time I got to try some Keeley pedals, and I'm playing, and I thought it was my buddy twisting the knobs. I looked up, and it's Robert Keeley dialing in. I'm like, what the hell? He goes, no, keep playing. We're dialing in. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like that is a trip.
It's like the Bukovac story where he's over there talking about Mutt Lang turning knobs on his pedal board. He's like, you don't fuck with another man's pedal board. And he goes, and then he's like, I hear things getting changed, and I look, and it's Mutt Lang over there. He's like, oh, it sounds a lot better when you do it, Mutt.
Yeah. Well, there we go. On that note, we'll wrap things up. There, look at that. There's the call. I love shrooms. Love you all.
I
Nice
mean,
reading. I get antisocial when I do shrooms. I can't be all social.
Not for me. I'd rather do it with a few buddies, but you got to be in real life.
No, not even. I just want to just hang out by myself.
Go around and the laughing fits where someone will say something stupid like "Karma Chameleon." Oh my God, he said "Karma Chameleon."
Well, there is that. So I'll be back tomorrow night with Canucks with Guitars, playing some music, live Q&A, bad album covers.
I'll be here too, but I won't be there.
And possibly a new pedal day depending on. Well, no, who am I kidding? They won't even get in, let alone.
The Huskies are going to show up on the dog.
There may be a new pedal tomorrow.
Right.
Doubtful, but
I
maybe.
was going to take the day off today, Ben, and I thought, no, I got to come.
Also, I don't know what's coming out for demos this week because I have nothing. At least the string change video will be out this week, at the very least. We know that.
An acoustic string change?
I don't know if I can get. After digging out a foot of snow out of the driveway, I don't really feel like going and demoing guitars. Just saying.
Well, yeah, by the time you're done digging out the driveway, you don't want to go anywhere.
No, so I might go out Tuesday and get some demos done. But worst case, I'll restring a guitar.
Well, apparently in Trenton, where Mark is, there's 40 centimeters or more.
Yeah.
And that's like a foot and a quarter for a foot and a third.
Foot and a third.
That's an idea. I should tell Ryan, let's go on a road trip and hit every guitar center in the state of Georgia.
I like that idea.
In the Corvette.
Right.
Here,
yeah, that's part of it because you want the optics. So when you go in to play the amps at stage volume, they're like, they could be buying. They look what they drove up in. So they got money.
Right?
Yeah.
We do, but we're not going to. So.
They're definitely going to let
There you go.
in.
Zach Thong was the other person that voted. See? As he said as much. This was a fun show tonight. I'm glad I voted for Randy to be on the show.
Yeah.
And yes, we will definitely do a part 2.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Cool.
And the guy in Cape Breton, Jesus Christ, be quiet about the snow, will you, right? Yeah. They don't measure by the inches.
We didn't get any more. We didn't get any Robs, so there's that.
Haven't seen any.
Touch wood.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Like in Glace Bay, they measure it by the foot, not by the inches for snowfall. So
Right.
They have two doors. They got the winter door on the second floor, and they've got the summer door.
yeah. Exactly. Where walk out, take the broom with you. Why? I can't sweep out. No, because you use the handle to poke through the snow to find the car. Yeah. Fun times.
Don't bust the
There's little
window.
bicycle flags on everything. Oh, there's the fire hydrant. I can tell by the way the flag is.
There we go. So, of course, hold the line here, Randy. We'll talk off air. Have a great night, everybody. Hold those doors open. Let Mark Taft in heavy in traffic because he doesn't have a driver's license, so just let him go. Be good to each other. Happy tone chasing because karma is real.
I'm going to follow him to make sure he's okay.
And happy tone chasing. And, oh, yeah, don't litter.